I'm Huon Hooke, and this is The Real Review. The wine we're tasting today is McHenry Hohnen Rolling Stone 2016, which is a Cabernet Sauvignon blend from Margaret River. So the backstory of McHenry Hohnen is that two guys who are brothers-in-law, that's Murray McHenry and David Hohnen, decided to put this venture together, and it dates from 2004, but the vineyards involved go back quite a bit earlier. David Hohnen, of course, was the founder of Cape Mentelle in Margaret River, one of the iconic vineyards of Margaret River, and a few years later in New Zealand, in Marlborough, he established Cloudy Bay. His brother-in-law, Murray McHenry, had wine shops in Perth, and really high-end wine shops, and he was a very serious wine guy. And Murray McHenry planted his first vineyard of his own in Margaret River way back in 1984. That was what he called the Burnside Vineyard. Later on, he developed the Calgadup Brook Vineyard and later Hazel's Vineyard. So all of those vineyards find their way onto the various labels of McHenry Hohnen wines. These days, David doesn't have anything, I don't think, to do with the business. He's busy with his sheep and cattle and pigs, and not so much wine anymore. The wines are all estate grown, so all the wines have come from grapes grown on those vineyards that I mentioned, and all of those vineyards are managed biodynamically. So they've been biodynamic for quite a significant time, and they are basically the southern half of Margaret River. So a lot of these vineyards are south of the Margaret River Township, which is quite unusual. When you think of full-bodied reds such as this, you think more of Willie Abrip, which is very much in the north end of the region. The south end of Margaret River is cooler and more suited to white wines, but red wines can be very good if they're in the right place, if the vineyards are planted in the right place and the wines are made by people who really know what they're doing. And McHenry Hohnen certainly do. Why is it called Rolling Stone? That's because in the vineyards of Margaret River, the little red buckshot gravel, they call it, of ironstone little rocks that are spherical rocks, rolling stones, are very much the what the best vineyards have in them. It's nothing to do with rock and roll bands. So, the wine we're tasting is the McHenry Hohnen Rolling Stone 2016. It's a Cabernet blend. First thing you notice is that the colour is starting to develop, so it hasn't got quite as much purple as it would have had when it was young, but it's a nice deep bright colour, very good colour. And of course the wine is now 5 years old, which is good. They've cellared it for us for a little while, which is a good thing to do. They've done us a service by keeping it back for a few years. When you smell it, there's a lot of what I call the typical Margaret River marine type characters there. And when I say marine, there's a sort of an oyster shell character, but there's also these herbal elements that remind me of seaweed, like nori, like peat moss, that sort of thing. Very much a marker for Margaret River Cabernet in my view, especially from the vineyards in the cooler parts. And the wine is very complex. There's a touch of licorice, a touch of toastiness to it. The berry fruits are there, but they're very much in the background now. The wine is starting to develop secondary complexities. Very complex. And it's not a very big wine, but it is a very intense wine and a beautifully flavoured wine. Elegance is the word there. It is, it's certainly full-bodied, but it's not massive. And the flavour is in a beautiful line across the palate from the beginning to the end. The tannins are there. It's got a lot of tannin, but they're soft tannins. I think they're always soft, good quality tannins, but they've been mellowed out a little bit more by that extra time in the bottle that McHenry Hohnen have given it before they've released. So many wines of this style are released now, 2019s, even 2020s, are coming onto the market, and this wine is 5 years old. So you've got the benefit of that showing very clearly in this wine. Lovely mellow wine with fluency, with length, and with great style and elegance to it. I think that's beautiful drinking right now, and it's got quite a few years to go. Another 10 years wouldn't be a problem at all. So how did we rate this wine? We rated it 96 points, which is a good strong gold ribbon score, and it was top rank wine, a top rank wine. Number 6 out of 39 Cabernet blends from Margaret River in the 2016 vintage. So very high rating wine indeed. So as far as the food match goes, we asked the winemaker, who is Jacopo Dallicani, an Italian from the north of Italy, what he would like to match with this wine. He said Margaret River venison, in fact, as osso bucco. So that's something I've never eaten, I don't think. Osso bucco made of venison. Why not? And with truffled mashed potatoes. Wow, now he's talking my language. Truffles in anything improves it. So, and I think the truffle character, being that sort of fungal, earthy, mushroomy thing, will go really well with the secondary aged complexity that is now starting to creep into this wine. Cheers to that.